Oh yeah, that's something magical. Alright, let me see.
So how's the good internet life?
It's wonderful.
And the good upload speed life?
Absolutely magical. Alright.
Did you catch that story and memes I was telling Nomad?
No?
Uh, Basically, it's about me. Uh, you were there.
Oh, I guess I wasn't paying attention. Tell it to me again?
You remember the part where I said I was paying 60 to 80 for 15 megabits per second?
Oh yeah, yeah.
So yeah, you were there for that story, right?
Uh-huh. I actually weighed in on that, saying that my satellite internet was faster for just pure bandwidth. Okay, I put a link to the stream in voice text chat. So let's go ahead and get this started. One of these days it'll load up. Okay, now we are loading in and gonna make some magic happen.
And another loading screen.
It never ends. And guess what? We're playing as Virgil.
Am I supposed to know who that is?
Dante's twin brother. There's also
That's
some...
significant?
It is kind of significant because he is significant to the story of this game. Lots of really spoilery
No, I mean
stuff.
gameplay-wise.
Gameplay-wise? Yeah, he plays very differently. Do you mind if I spoil it for you?
Go ahead. I don't see myself playing this game anytime soon.
Alright, basically, the entire setup of the story is that Virgil split himself in two, and the guy we're going to kill right now is the demonic half.
So is this suicide?
Only through the power of mods.
Wait, what's the mod?
Virgil isn't normally playable in this game, but we've basically got a fan-made hack enabled, which lets us play as him anyway. Normally you can only play as 3 different characters, Nero, Dante, and V. But some fan hackers figured out a way to make it to where this guy was playable. Because the major plot twist of the game, I told you that already, right?
Yeah.
At some point, the two halves recombine. V is the human half, right?
Hmm.
And I may disable the mod later so I can show you all 3 of the playable characters. Okay, so here we go. Final boss of the game. Let's do it.
Hey, you're supposed to lose this fight, right?
You are supposed to lose, yeah. Oh, didn't see that second fireball coming. Get out of there, Virgil.
You know, I think I see why some streamers add a voice delay to their microphone.
Yeah, it does kind of make sense.
Actually, no wait. For the stream, the sound is synced. It's just for you and me, where you're speaking in voice. In that case, adding a delay to the voice channel would just be weird. And I have had
there we go.
a long distance. And I have had long distance calls before where the delay has gotten as bad as 10 seconds, after which the other person hears me.
Okay, we are in the end game. Or, wait, no,
All right.
crap. I totally forgot I switched off the cutscenes. That's part of the mod. Whoops.
Well, that's the game.
That's the game. Good games, everyone.
Devil May Cry.
Alright, let's try that again. I'm gonna switch off the mod real quick. Co-op trainer. There we go. So, don't auto-skip the cutscenes this time. Alright.
I'd like to make a suggestion.
Yes?
It might be in your best interest to not stream your full window. You never know what might pop up on stream that you don't want the other person to see, like private, personally identifiable information.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I'm usually pretty careful about the stuff I put on my desktop anyway, but that's a good idea. Alright.
Now for the loading screens in your loading screens.
Yep. This time it should be a little bit shorter because stuff is pre-cached. Alright, now we're actually playing as Nero. Oh, hold on a second. Let's get some Devil Breakers in there. Devil Breakers are kind of Nero's special thing. They're robotic arms. They're interchangeable and they give him different abilities.
I realize I've never actually asked, what is the story behind your avatar?
My avatar? Oh, that is from a game called Vindictus.
Dante.
You ever heard of that one? It's kind of obscure. One of those Korean MMO things.
It looks like an airheaded magician?
Kind of, yeah. Basically, I was in a guild, and one of my guild mates drew my avatar for me.
This is that drawing?
Yeah, this is the drawing.
I could take you with no arms.
So when are you getting Helldivers?
Helldivers? Eventually, whenever you and I have a good time to play together.
I guess you're never getting Helldivers.
I guess not.
V, can I trust you? Humans helping each other out? What's the world coming to?
I like how the lock-on bar is also a health bar.
Yeah, that's a pretty nice touch. No more healing for you.
By any chance, are you hearing a feedback loop from the sound from me?
No, I've got the stream audio on my end muted.
I was just wondering if my end was feeding into the mic. Because
No,
I can't actually turn it off apparently I can't turn off the volume in a YouTube live stream in the app.
No, I don't think it would be, because I've got my headphones on. But I'm talking into a separate microphone.
No, seriously, why don't more games do the lock-on health bar thing? Great.
I keep telling you people this game is good. Okay, that should be... Oh, there's one more.
Oh yeah, that reminds me of the other thing that YouTube streams have over Twitch streams.
What's
you
that?
can rewind.
Oh yeah, rewinding is nice.
And then you can play the stream at like 1.25% speed to slowly catch up to live.
Yeah.
I've done this for Nintendo Directs before when I'm watching with people. And now, the final boss.
For real this time.
How much skill do you need to get this, or do you have a gear that helps with this right now?
How much skill?
Yes.
Like to beat the final boss at the very start, or just...
To beat the final boss at the very start.
Oh, you would need to be super good, but I'm kind of over-leveled for this. Devil May Cry doesn't have traditional levels, like, but it's got upgrades and stuff. I've got the maximum health and Devil Trigger and all that business.
Yeah, I figured from the layout, that's why I said gear, not levels.
Oh, you said gear. I didn't hear you. Like, you don't even have the Devil Trigger for Nero until the very end of the game. Ah, 2 fireballs. Yeah, that's one of the things that makes this fight a lot easier. It's actually pretty easy to beat this guy if you come back with everything at the end of the game.
Is he harder at the end?
No, he's the same difficulty at the end. Dang it.
So it's no different from fighting him at the end.
Right.
Except this time you have the gear for it.
Uh-huh. Oh, I should probably clarify, you don't actually refight this guy at the very end of the game. It's more like Mission 8, right before the halfway point.
I don't follow.
Basically, the main difference is that he's got a second phase. That only happens if you actually go through the story normally.
Instead of the joke ending.
Right. And the funny thing is, you actually can get that joke ending in the second fight if you beat his second phase. But that just doesn't show up here.
Wait, how do you get the joke ending in that situation?
You beat his second phase.
Are you not supposed to beat his second phase?
No, you're only supposed to beat the first phase in the second fight. And then the second phase comes up and like, surprise! I have juked you again!
Is there a third fight?
There is a third phase, but you are supposed to beat that one on the first try.
No, a third fight.
Yeah, third fight.
So how many times do you fight this guy total then?
3.
Wait, if you're not supposed to beat him on the first try in the third fight, then when?
You are supposed to beat him on the first try in the third fight. Uh-oh. Health's a little low. Oh, dang it. Okay, time to stay back and build Devil Trigger.
Virus Zero asked in voice text if our voice is being recorded with the stream.
I think it is, yeah.
Actually, I can hear the feedback loop, so I'd say it is. I think you're a better Virgil player than you are this guy.
I think I just forgot to switch the difficulty, actually. Because it's a lot easier if you play it on normal. Yeah, I do need to get good. $8,000 style points is not bad, though. Yeah, let me double check that real quick. I may have picked the wrong difficulty by accident. Mission select. Yeah, that was on Son of Sparta, actually. It's a lot easier on Devil Hunter. That's the normal difficulty. Alright, take 3.
Hey, this is the third fight. We're actually supposed to beat him this time.
Yeah! It all comes together.
What difficulty did you fight him on as Virgil?
That was human difficulty. Or no, it was Devil Hunter.
So what's the plot of Devil May Cry?
No arms.
Well, it's a bit complicated to describe, but basically there's usually a big bad demon hanging around, and Dante and friends have to go try and kill it.
That's it?
Yeah, the exact details vary. There's usually some family complications going on. Because, like, Dante's the son of Sparta, right? Sparta's the legendary Dark Knight who saved the world from demons about 2,000 years ago. He's a demon himself, which explains why Dante and Virgil are half human, half demon. And anyway, the specifics of this game is that the big bad demon threatening to destroy the world is called Urizen. And the reason he's hanging around is because Virgil, greedy for power as he is, split himself in two with the power of the Yamada. Urizen is the demon half, V is the human half.
So now he's full human?
Yeah, V is full human.
Does that mean he's weaker?
He actually is quite a bit weaker, yeah. And I can show off his peculiarities in a minute.
And his lifespan is shortened?
Lifespan is way shortened, yeah, that's actually a plot detail. V is dying.
Does he need to fuse back with the demon half?
Yes, that is exactly what happens in the course of the game, actually. When you beat him in Mission 17, that's the third refight, V comes up and's like, hey, let me have the final blow. And then he's like, psych, I was Virgil all along. But we actually found out he's Virgil way before that.
Wait, V is supposed to be Virgil and this is a surprise?
Well, it's kind of a surprise if you don't really understand what Virgil is. Like, if you're not familiar with all of the I need more power, if you're not familiar with that stuff, it might come as a surprise to you.
No, it's just one's name is V, one's name is Virgil. I just thought you were talking about Virgil the whole time.
Well, technically I was.
Oh, huh, I guess you are.
Oh, that was a bad move. That was a bad move, too.
Oh!
Dodge in slow motion.
Also, those fireballs made me think of Lionel fights in Breath of the Wild.
Similar, yeah. Tried to deflect it, but I couldn't get it. Okay, almost got his shield down. There it goes. There we go. That's a chunk of his health. Very nice. He's down to half. And now he's almost dead. Just gotta break this
looks
crystal.
like a very interesting hack and slash.
Yeah, it's a stylish hack and slash. You gotta go for the style, man.
How do you get styled?
Basically, you just mix up your attacks and do different things. Like, you can't just use the same attacks every time.
Like, I do that quite a bit in Hyrule Warriors just because it looks cool.
Well, you already know how to play this game, then. Nope, that wasn't what I was supposed to do there.
I think I'd like Devil May Cry then.
I think you would, yeah.
A game that rewards me for playing in what other games consider suboptimal way.
Yeah.
Like, in other games, like, you've got this one move, spam it. All your other moves aren't as powerful as this one.
Okay, shield is down. Let's finish this guy off. In the most stylish way possible. Showdown! There we go.
Is this my limit?
Time for the joke ending.
The one who usurped the demon throne was vanquished. Peace returned to the world above. Indeed, this was the perfect conclusion all had hoped for. Come, raise your fist in victory and celebration. A new legend has been born.
So, is Virgil just gonna die now then?
Yep.
So, what happens in the game to Virgil if you play the story normally?
The actual game?
Yes.
Well, over the course of the game, he gets resurrected. Like, the two halves refuse into each other properly.
Does that not happen when he gets the final blow?
That is what happens when he gets the final blow, yeah. It was a ruse on his part.
Why didn't he just be honest to his brother?
Because he's kind of a dick.
Which one?
Virgil. Although I guess you could say that of Dante, too.
I guess you should mark this stream as spoilers for Devil May Cry 5.
I suppose I should, yeah. And they all lived happily ever after.
Except for Virgil, apparently.
Yeah, he died pretty much within the month. And the funny thing about beating the game like that is, you can see I got about 20,000 bonus points. That happened specifically because I managed to beat Urizen in the first mission. Alright, so let's go back and let's review the plot real quick. For your benefit.
Alright.
Alright, so let's go through this mission by mission, right? I think that's
Wait,
the
are we
quickest way to
playing
do
the
it.
whole game?
We're not playing the whole game, no, I'm just going to highlight each mission and then explain the story. Alright, so the prologue is where we meet Nero, Virgil, and Dante, or I guess I should say V, as they're going to hunt down Virgil's demonic half Urizen. We're supposed to lose this mission, and that leads into mission 1, which takes place 1 month later, and it introduces Nika.
Isn't V supposed to be dead in a month?
Yeah, this is about the time when it happens. But we don't know that just yet. Mission 1 is when we meet Nika, who is Nero's partner in crime. Actually, let's jump over to the gallery real quick, so I can introduce the cast. Little scatterbrained. Alright, let's see here. Art library. Okay, let's try Nico's reports. That should be it. Character portraits. Okay. This is Nero. This is the main character of the game, basically. Let's see here.
Okay. Wait, I thought Dante was the main character.
He's kind of the main character. It's kind of a shared role, but I think Nero gets a little bit more screen time and character weight as growth than Dante
What
does.
happened to his arm?
His arm? Oh, it was actually ripped off by Virgil in the prologue. Like 1 month before all the action takes place, Virgil showed up at his house one day and he was like, I actually do have a Let's Play on my channel with all of the cutscenes, if you want to check that out sometime, like a playlist. But yeah, Virgil just showed up one day and ripped Nero's arm off. He used to have a demonic right arm, and that's what Virgil was going after specifically because it had Virgil's sword inside of it, the Yamato. It's basically a super katana that can cut through space-time.
Of course.
Yeah, so that's about the time we meet Nico as well, and Nico basically builds Nero these new robotic arms. They're called Devil Breakers. That's what I was describing earlier, with the special abilities and stuff.
Yeah.
And this is Nika. She is actually the daughter of a character who appeared in a previous game. She's a bit of a mechanical whiz, and she also drives the Devil May Cry van. And this is V. This is Virgil's human half. And the way he fights is actually a little bit different. He doesn't fight his enemies directly. Instead, he has some demonic minions he can summon for his own. And those would be
He's a
Griffin.
god.
Uh-huh. Griffin is the ranged option, Shadow is the melee option, and Nightmare is the super monster. This is what he spends his Devil Trigger on.
Devil Trigger being like a final attack.
Yeah, it's more of a super meter. You build it up and then you can spend it on special abilities. For Nero and Dante, that's a super transformation. And V summons Nightmare. Alright, so back to the mission select. Mission 1 is basically, we're going back to Redgrave City, where the demonic invasion began, Urizen being the cause of that demonic invasion. And then up to Mission 2 is when Nero reunites with V. It's not a lot of plot stuff happening. Mission 3 is more of the same. And the boss of this level actually has one of Dante's allies. Her name is Lady. Mission 4 is actually the first one where we play as V, and he's basically chasing down demons of his own accord. Right now they're kind of on 2 different missions, because part of the story in the beginning is that Dante lost to Urizen. So Nero is going to chase down the final boss to get revenge for losing his arm, and V is looking for another super weapon called the Devil Sword Sparta, which was kind of Dante's father's signature weapon, which he inherited. And
So
there's
there's all these events going on parallel to each other?
basically, yeah. And during all this, remember, we all think Dante is dead, even though, well, it's not really that much of a surprise to find out he is alive. Mission 8 is where
So when Dante loses to the boss in the prologue, we're supposed to think he's dead?
Well, we're supposed to think he's dead, and take that with air quotes. Supposed, quote, to think, quote, he's dead, quote. And Mission 8 is where the rematch happens, Nero versus Urizen again. We beat his first phase, then we get into the second phase and lose that one, but then a new super demon shows up to fight back.
Is that Dante?
Yeah, that's Dante. He found a new super mode. Mission 9 is when V catches up to Dante. Mission 10 is the first mission where we actually play as Dante. This is another prologue mission. It describes how Dante got to fight Urizen in the first place. And then Mission 11 jumps us back to the present, where... Hold on, collecting my thoughts. I'm going a little bit fast. For myself. Alright, so Mission 11... Mission 11 is basically just Dante's going to fight the Demon King again. He catches up to, see here, what is it? I guess I should just show you. Let's see here. Jump over to the gallery. Nika's
How many
reports.
missions are there?
There are 20 missions. Enemy reports, here we go. Bosses. This guy, Cavalier Angelo. Dante fights this guy. He's basically a demonic knight with wings for shield and an electric sword. He's pretty cool. Probably one of the best bosses in the game. Alright, and inside of him is Trish, one of Dante's allies. So getting back to the mission select, we are up to 11? Right. And then mission 12. Mission 12 is an interesting one because Dante goes back to his family home and he uses the Devil Sword Sparta in combination with his own sword, the Rebellion. And he basically fuses them together into his own body, and that's how he gains the new super mode, which allows him to take the fight to Urizen directly and beat his second phase.
Okay.
So Mission 13... Mission 13 describes how all three of the heroes, Nero, Dante, and V, are descending into the very definitely final dungeon to chase down Urizen and finish him off once and for all.
So this is what... So they're all working on their own, like they're all going it on their own, and this is the part where all of them meet up?
Yeah, there's this whole split perspectives thing going on, like...
I love it when a game does that!
Yeah, it's really cool. They even have a complete timeline to describe when everything takes place. Alright, and then the next three missions show the three different perspectives of each guy. V, Nero, and Dante, as they continue descending as they split up. Because this one, they're all working together, and then the next three, they're split up. Mission 17, Dante gets to the bottom first, and he encounters Urizen, entering his final phase of power. And this is the one where you beat it on the first try. And when you beat this one, V shows up, combines with Urizen, and becomes Virgil. Fully powered and ready to kick some more butt. Mission
And now
18...
what is Virgil going to do?
Well, he's basically going to go sit at the top of a tree and wait for you to show up. Mission 18 describes the journey of Dante climbing up the tree to fight his lunatic twin brother. And that journey...
What about Nero?
Nero? Yeah, he's on his way too. He got lost somewhere.
What?
He got lost somewhere.
Like, does it... What about the part where... Like... Wait. Hang on, wait, back up a bit. Okay. So what mission do the heroes all reunite?
Let's see here. They actually do meet up here after the mission's all said and done. Basically, Dante beats Urizen, Nero and V show up, and then V recombines with Urizen to become Virgil.
Okay, now they're both heading for the tree.
Basically, yeah. But there's actually another little plot twist here. It turns out that Virgil is Nero's father.
What?
It's kind of been hinted at because Nero had Virgil's sword in the first place. But that was a plot point from a previous game, so I don't blame you for not knowing it.
Oh yeah, I was thinking, how did the sword get in his arm?
Do you want me to explain that point too?
Yes.
Well, in the previous game, Devil May Cry 4, Nero was part of a organization called the Order of the Sword. And Devil May Cry 4 was basically Nero's game, right? So it focused on him mostly.
Mm-hmm.
The Order of the Sword was doing experiments with demonic power, and they happened upon the Yamato one day. So while Nero was investigating all that stuff, he got on the bad side of the Order of the Sword, like specifically their chief scientist. And so Chief Scientist tries to kill him, but in that moment, Nero's demonic power starts waking up, and the Yamato's like, hey, I know this guy, so it goes over to him and beefs him up.
So it goes over to what?
It goes over to him, to Nero.
Okay.
And that's how he got the Yamato. Alright, so back to this game. Dante beats Urizen, V recombines with Urizen to become Virgil, Virgil scoots off, Nero finds out Virgil's his father, and then Dante goes chasing after Virgil. And in Mission 18, you actually fight V's minions, the cast-offs, from when he became Virgil again.
Those summons he had.
Yeah, the summons. You fight them as a boss battle in this one. They kind of harass you all throughout the level, but at the end of the mission you fight them as all three of them at the same time, as a boss battle. And then Mission 19 is the proper rematch between Dante and Virgil. This is probably one of the most fun parts of the game, because it's just such an epic boss fight altogether.
Is this where they pieced together Virgil's moveset from for the mod?
Basically, yeah. A lot of it comes from this one. And then Mission 20 is when Nero steps in and is like, hey, stop fighting. I have a family and I don't want you guys to kill each other. And that's when he unlocks his Devil Trigger because he cares so much about his family. And this game has a family theme. So then Virgil's like, okay, if you can beat me, I'll back down and be a nice guy. And that's basically what happens. Nero wins.
And is he a nice guy then?
Kind of.
Go on.
Well, he agrees to set aside his differences with his brother for the sake of cutting down the demonic tree that's opening the portal, which is letting the demonic invasion happen in the first place. And when it's all said and done, there is one more cutscene, and I'm just going to show that to you real quick. Which takes place a few weeks after the events of the game. Let's see, it is this one. The very last cutscene of the game.
They're sparring.
Score for Dante. I'm up one. When did you learn to count?
Is that Virgil or Nero?
That's Virgil.
You know,
I can't actually hear what they're saying.
Is it too quiet?
this is never gonna end.
Maybe subtitles would be good.
Maybe.
Can you turn on the subtitles and restart the cutscene?
Yeah. That's what I'm doing right now. Let's see here. Sound, yes. No. Game options? Not here.
Customized cutscenes?
Subtitles, here we go. Yeah, you can customize the cutscenes. Basically, you can switch costumes for certain characters. Right now, the only one I have is Virgil. Alright. Alright, take two.
Score for Dante. I'm up one. When did you learn to count? We're even. You know, I'm starting to think this is never gonna end.
Maybe. We got plenty of time.
Don't you dare say it's jackpot!
Oh, hey, they're working together.
Yeah,
So
but
what
see,
did I just watch?
see, here's the thing about Dante and Virgil. It has been... In the lore of the setting, they have hated each other to the death for about 30 years at this point.
Okay.
And they're not really going to set aside their differences that easily, right?
Yeah.
So even 3 weeks after they have said they will set aside their differences for the greater good of humanity, they are still fighting each other to the death.
So that's not sparring then.
Well, it kind of is sparring, it's just, this is what we know how to do, so we are going to continue to do it.
So what was that final attack?
The final attack?
The ambush.
Oh, right, yeah, they are working together in that one. I guess you got me there.
So is this the final game?
Final? Possibly. Capcom has said that the success of this game, Devil May Cry 5 did really well, right? It's revitalized their interest in continuing the series. Right now I know that there is a mobile game called Pinnacle of Combat, which kind of borrows elements from the whole series. So I think that's what they're looking at right now, but I don't know if there's going to be like a Devil May Cry 6 or a Virgil DLC, anything official like that. People really want an official Virgil DLC. Because there was a special edition for Devil May Cry 3 and Devil May Cry 4, which basically gave you exactly that, right? It was, you can play as Virgil now, and that's cool.
What would it do that the mod can't?
Not be a glitchy mess.
Fair.
Oh yeah, another thing you get after you finish the game. The main menu here actually has little scenes of the characters interacting with each other in various ways. Like right now you can see Virgil is kind of sitting awkwardly next to Nero.
Hi, Dad.
Hi,
Sorry,
son.
I chopped off your arm.
It's cool. Well, I think that'll wrap it up for this time.
This whole stream is a giant spoiler.
Yes, I will definitely put that spoiler warning when the VOD goes up. It's on unlisted right now, so that should be okay. But yeah, thanks for your help, man. I'm gonna shut things down now.
Fun to watch.
Oh, it's so good. We're gonna have so many fun times in the future.